Today we're going to show you how to build on a budget with today's gas prices and everything being high. I sure as hell can't afford to make awesome terrain, so I go cheap. I go to Walmart. We'll start by making low grass huts for Hordes and Warmachine. This is supposed to be a little moss covered grass hut from Circle of Oberos clan or whatever. But you gotta turn this into this. Once we're gonna start with the foam ball, you're cut it directly in half. Try to make it as even as possible. Don't really matter what size, because these are gonna be taller than your miniatures most of the time. For a base for this model, I use foam sheet just to make a setting. You're gonna reinforce it with like poster board, make it a lot stronger. But what you're going to do is you're going to cut a hole at the top, try to drill it in. For most people at home, some of you are lucky enough to have a Dremel. That's what I use for most of my dioramas. I just try to drill a hole in there, and then you want to kind of form a kind of like a door, which you end up having a hole at the top like that, and here's your door. Okay, first off, we're gonna do the hole at the top for the roof. With that done, give word of caution, some people might want to use eye protection for doing this stuff. I got glasses on, so it doesn't really bother me as much. Next thing you want to do is kind of carve a door out. Okay, now you got the basics for the door. The rest of the way you want to do is kind of just hollow out the best you can. You want to have kind of like a ring around there so you can glue at least the base of the shed or the housing to your platform. After that, just pretty much just hollow out like I said. It might take you a little while. But this foam is fairly cheap. You can use other kind of foams. I just use this one because it makes it less of a mess than this other green foam I usually make stuff out of.
That shit gets everywhere.
Your turn. Now after you got done dremeling the piece of styrofoam ball out, as you can see it's all over me and it's all in my mouth and eyebrows and everything. But this is what you should end up looking like. If you don't have a Dremel, I suggest use like an X-Acto knife or any other kind of hobby knife for that matter. It should be able to get the job done. It might take you a little bit more time, but you'll still get the gist of the same idea. After you get done doing this process, you want to get some cheap black acrylic paint. It don't matter. It could be any kind of black acrylic paint. It's usually cheap. You find it at Walmart. Matter of fact, all the supplies I'm going to use today are from Walmart. It's just cheaper.
Less than $15 back.
And yeah, it'll be less than $15. So what we're going to do next is we're going to paint this whole thing inside and out black. And you're going to see why after that. As you can see, this is the painting process of the styrofoam sphere. This part in hollowing it out and carving the doorway and the top area is probably going to be the longest process of this whole terrain piece. After that, you just want to make sure you cover all the white areas pretty good with the black paint inside and out. After that you're pretty much done on that part. After this part, we'll be going on to covering the ball with the the terrain moss. And that's probably the funner part of the whole ordeal. Okay, this is what you're going to be looking at by the time you get done painting it. I'm not going to try to pick it up right now. It's still really wet with paint. We're going to stop the camera for a little while, let this dry for a little bit, and when we come back, we'll start putting the moss on there and putting our sticks for the doorways and the top formation for the hut. And after that, we're going to wrap it up and putting the base on, and we'll be done. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is glue the hut to the base.